Okay, guys, if you were to start a photo studio today, what would you do? This is actually a question from Quanisha Moody, who's inside of my VBA. And her fiance, Scott, see Quanisha, I remember the stuff. They want to start one. And they were like, how do you start one? Because I've had a studio, because I've rented so many studios, she's asking me. So let me have Quanisha ask that question right here while I have a sip of my coffee.
Me and my fiance is thinking about doing our own studio, open up our own studio, and we would like to know what are some ways to attract new bookings, new clients, and get eyes on a new studio.
Okay, Quanisha, thank you for that question. Also, I'm at Cafe Balzac. It's an Americano, but it makes me feel like I'm in Europe. Because I've had a photo studio, because I've hosted movies in there and TV shows and photo shoots and other things, I have this experience. Because just yesterday I was looking for a photo studio for the cover of a magazine, Vanity Fair, I also was out hunting for a studio. So I have experience from both sides of it. So here are 3 things that I would not do. I know that I said I was going to tell you what I would do if I did open a studio, but I'm going to always raise the bar a little bit. Here are 3 things that I would not do, and then I'm going to give you 5 things that I would do. Quanisha, you better have your pen and pencil ready, or the rewind button. Okay, number 1, I would not have a studio that's like a monthly usage for photographers. This was a trend that happened, I'd say, in the past 2-3 years, and it ended, thank God, or it needs to end. And then hallelujah. So the reason why is, number 1, you've got a cap of how much money you can make. If I have like 10 photographers paying me $500 each, I make $5,000 a month. But if the lease is under my name and the most I can make is 5,000, I can only make that much or less, because if I have to fill up spaces. The other thing too is that now you have the personalities of these eccentric people, which is like people like you, people like me, that we like things a certain way. Don't touch my creative space. The second thing is that I would make photographers about 30 to 40% of the photo studio focus. I do about outside events, about another 30%. And then 10 to 20%, I would do like miscellaneous things. Sometimes people would do a meeting, for example, a pre-production meeting, and then another 20%. Believe it or not, if you're in one of the major cities, people like to use you for storage. Sometimes somebody will have a film or a TV show or music video filming, and it's a 2-day shoot, but they don't know where to put the cameras and the gear. And so as long as you are a safe space, people had rented my studio many times. They're like, we just need a place that we can load in at 7 p.m. at night and then load out at 7 a.m. Will you be there? I'm like, yeah, of course. And then they would pay me. I would make like $1,000 or $2,000 overnight just for storage. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm happy to do that. The third thing is that I would never, ever rent a studio without natural light. A studio without natural light is like a pet store without puppies. What are you doing? Why did you think that that was a good idea? So Gergo and I were looking, he's production managing this Vanity Fair shoot with me, and we're looking at stuff. And he did pick some things without natural light because he had a certain criteria to fit for the magazine. I said, make me a whole sheet of stuff. And then my job is to bring it down and pick the 1 or 2. And of course, I would seek his opinion on that. The ones that did not have lighting were just so, and flat and drab, and I didn't want to shoot there, and I was just struggling how I could make something work. When you cut out a studio without natural light, you've cut out so much of the market, at least 50%, I'd say even 60%. Nobody wants to be in a dark space, because the only way you can be in a dark space is you put up with those horrible ceiling lights that are fluorescent, or you got to rent or bring in a bunch of lights, and then that's a whole other expense that is ungodly. Alrighty, let's go to the 5 things that I would do if I did open a studio. Now, I got my stuff on my notes here because I'm not like pretending to memorize everything. All right, number 1, I would go for the groups. The least obvious thing, I go for the groups. There are people, like, times are hard right now. When people are doing running groups, do y'all just get together and you just run? You just run. But people do groups, and there's mom groups with like strollers that are double wide and double long. There are vegan groups where they talk about things that almost taste good. They talk about, there are groups for every single thing that you can imagine. Meetup.com is a great place to go and just introduce yourself to groups. But go to groups. If you see a group of people, if you see photo walkers, like, look, people that go on photo walks are phenomenal people. Start following people on social media before you even find the studio. The minute the ink dries on the lease, you should be starting to talk to these people and say, hey, My name is, and I'm going to open a photo studio. I know that you do photo walks. I'd love it if you guys ever started from here or ended from here. This way people can leave their stuff. I'd give you a special rate, but also what you guys can do is go do your photo walk and then end up here again and have some drinks or some food, etc. And I would charge you a minimal amount. That right there, that photo walk is, or talk to people to start photo walks. That is bringing 10, 20, 30 photographers into your space. The second thing that I would do, Instagrammable moments, okay? In my studio, I had a massive wall behind me that was of two different people. Two people that are like iconic. Two people that were young and now they're older and they were like in between age two. Two different people that are super controversial. Two different people that were super beautiful, still are, and they had so many different looks and outfits and magazines and iconic cultural moments. So those two people were Kate Moss and Madonna. These moments were every single person, whether they came to do a location scout in my studio, or they filmed, or they were a manager, or they were a momager, or they were a publicist or an agent, or they were crew. Everybody on every single photo shoot would be like, okay, if that Kate Moss Madonna wall's behind me, everybody would be like this, taking a selfie. Everybody. That meant every single person I photographed, and I would say of every single production, 80% minimum, 80% minimum would use that wall because it was cool, okay? It was like after the BCBG, CBGB, BGCCG, I don't know, some bathroom in New York. What would happen is somebody would take a picture. They would tag 5 Point Studio. Who is following this model? Photographers, makeup artists, wardrobe stylists, videographers. They're all like, oh shoot, there's a new studio in town. If a photographer shot it, who is following that photographer? That list goes on and on too. So what they were doing was better than Facebook ads, better than Instagram ads. They were targeting, they were my market target, and that was freaking brilliant. I had a second wall too, which was a police lineup wall, but that's the same example, okay? The second thing that I would do, I would make sure that I have a grace system. And a grace system for me is like, for example, yesterday when I looked at this photo studio, I said, not only do I like your studio, but I was like, let's be honest, there's a lot of studios with a white psych in a big area. I said, but you guys are kind. And there were a couple of things that he's like, I'll just throw that in. It's not a big deal. We all have to help each other, etc. Have a little bit of grace. Business is business. Of course, you have to make money, but have a lot of grace with people. Times are tough. Markets are tough. Artists are struggling. Have a little bit of grace with your market. What that means is when I did my last Vanity Fair cover, they were very nice. They were very professional. I could not take an inch outside of what I was allowed without paying another huge amount. Like if I was like 10 minutes over, I would pay 10 minutes overtime for sake. Have some decency. I came here, I shot, I put like $2,000 in. Do I really need to pay that extra $40? Is that gonna kill you? But you know what it did do for you is that now for this magazine that I'm shooting, I specifically told Garrigo, my production manager, also editor of this video, don't go to that studio. And he actually asked about it. I said, they nickeled me and they dimed me. Just don't be a nickel and dimer. Yes, you'll make a tiny bit money in the short run, but you're going to lose a lot of money in the long run. The next one is I would start on Peerspace. I would start on Gigster, but if you're going to abuse any of them, do Peerspace. I don't like them. But I would start on Peerspace and I would list my studios and make it so that you're so friendly, you have so much grace, that you're so kind to these people that the second time they don't go through Peerspace, they come to you directly. So get on these big portal websites, go there and list yourself and really be kind to your customers. And then just say, hey, next time just call us directly, you know? Peerspace takes, I think, 10%. But they're so bad with studios. In my experience, my own personal experience, they were so bad that I actually told them, unlist my studio, please. That's why. Okay, and then the final one. 3 a day, every day, before the first day. So let me break this down. You're gonna start reaching out to photographers, makeup artists, wardrobe stylists, production companies, producers, editors in the photo world. Then you're gonna have your yoga people, then you have your Pilates people, and you're gonna make a list. And you're gonna say, oh shoot, Wally, that's a lot of work. Well, yeah, then go hire somebody, go do this for you. Go use GPT to do this for you. Make a list. Go hire a human, actually put money in their pocket if you can. And say, I want a list of every single photographer. Like just go deep into it. Follow them, who cares? It's free. So you're gonna collect a bunch of people. 3 people a day you're gonna reach out to. So it's 3 a day, every day, before the first day. What that means is the moment you sign the lease for that studio, before you build a white site, before you design it, before you take out a paintbrush, you're gonna start reaching out to people. Not 2 people, that's lazy. Not 1, that's insanity. Not 0, that's a slap in the face. And not 4, that's too much. 3 a day, every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That is 15 people a week. That is 60 people a month. If it takes you a month, or even a month and a half to open the studio, now 90 people know about your studio because you reached out to how many people? 3 people. 3. That is it. Hey there. Hey there, my name is Walid. I'm a photographer. I see you're in the area too. I just want to say hello and just let you know that I'm opening a studio, and if you book, I'll give you 30% off your first booking. That's it. 3 people. For f***'s sake, do not be lazy. Do not mess this up. 3 people. Because if you go, okay, how many people, when do you stop? You never stop. New photographers born every day. So if you go 60 people a month, 60 something, that's 720 a year. Imagine reaching out to 720 freaking people. How many are you gonna book? You're gonna book at least 30-40% of them, and they're gonna come back again and again and again. And you know how much I've spent? I spent 0. I spent 0 on Facebook ads, 0 on TikTok ads, 0 on Instagram. I haven't even talked about making reels and TikToks. I haven't talked about Instagram posts. I haven't talked about anything else. And you are going to open yourself up to more than photographers. You're going to go to groups, and you're gonna have a very successful business. If you wanna join the VBA, the way Quanisha has, click that right there. I hope this helps you. I have a full, by the way, on the screen right here, you see I have a full playlist of photo studios. I need to actually charge for this list, but I'm not going to. I have a full playlist of studios. Please watch it. If you have questions, you can contact me. And if you want to do any private consultations with me about your photo studio, I'm also available for that. You can book me and we pick a date. You record the session. It's an hour on video and I go through your business. My name is Walid Azami. That is my website. And I will talk to you later. Thank you. Bye. Some photographers, I was just looking at them because they checked out my camera and I checked out their camera. It's like this weird thing. Okay.